Sparta, known for its military prowess and disciplined society, was a city-state in ancient Greece unlike any other. The Spartans, or Spartiates, were the elite ruling class who underwent rigorous military training from a young age. Interestingly, at any given time, there were only about 8,000 Spartiates, a small number compared to the overall population of Sparta. This exclusivity and focus on military excellence set them apart from other Greek city-states. The Spartiates held the highest positions of power and were responsible for governing Sparta. They lived a life of discipline and sacrifice, always ready to defend their city-state. In contrast, the perioeci, who were free non-citizens, played a crucial role in the economic life of Sparta. They were artisans, traders, and craftsmen who contributed to the prosperity of the city-state. The perioeci were not allowed to participate in the political affairs of Sparta but were respected for their skills and contributions. On the other end of the social spectrum were the helots, the enslaved population of Sparta. The helots outnumbered the Spartiates and perioeci significantly, with estimates suggesting they could have been as much as 10 times the number of free inhabitants. The treatment of helots was harsh, as they were subjected to forced labor and often faced oppression. This stark social hierarchy defined the structure of Spartan society and had a profound impact on its military strength and political stability. The Spartiates, also known as Spartans, were the elite ruling class of Sparta, a city-state in ancient Greece, renowned for its military prowess and disciplined society. What set the Spartiates apart was their exclusive focus on military training and excellence, starting from a young age. In fact, Spartan boys were taken from their families at the age of 7 to begin their rigorous education in the agoge, a state-controlled system of training that emphasized physical fitness, combat skills, and discipline. This intense training aimed to mold the Spartiates into fearless and highly skilled warriors, ready to defend Sparta at a moment's notice. The number of Spartiates in Sparta was relatively small, with estimates suggesting there were only about 8,000 of them at any given time. This exclusivity and emphasis on military prowess allowed the Spartiates to maintain a tight grip on power and governance in Sparta. The Spartiates held the highest positions in Spartan society, serving as the ruling class responsible for making important decisions and leading the city-state in times of war and peace. Their dedication to military training and discipline was legendary, with Spartan warriors known for their unwavering courage and commitment to the state. The Spartiates lived a life of sacrifice and service to Sparta, prioritizing the needs of the city-state above their own personal interests. This selfless devotion to Sparta was ingrained in every aspect of their lives, shaping their values and actions. The Spartiates were expected to adhere to a strict code of conduct known as the Spartan mirage, which emphasized qualities such as bravery, loyalty, and obedience to authority. Failure to uphold these values could result in social ostracism and loss of status within Spartan society. Despite their small numbers, the Spartiates wielded significant influence and power in Sparta, dominating political, military, and social spheres. Their military prowess and discipline were the envy of other Greek city-states, with many seeking to emulate the Spartan way of life. The Spartiates' commitment to excellence and selfless service to Sparta set them apart as the elite warriors and leaders of their time, leaving a lasting legacy of courage and discipline that continues to inspire admiration and fascination to this day. The perioeci were a significant and unique group in Spartan society, playing a crucial role in the economic life of Sparta. Unlike the Spartiates, the perioeci were free non-citizens who were not subjected to the same intense military training and discipline. Instead, they were artisans, traders, and craftsmen who contributed to the prosperity of Sparta through their skills and expertise. The perioeci formed a middle class in Spartan society, bridging the gap between the elite Spartiates and the enslaved helots. They were essential to the functioning of the Spartan economy, engaging in trade both within Sparta and with other city-states in the region. Interestingly, the perioeci were not allowed to participate in the political affairs of Sparta, as political power was reserved exclusively for the Spartiates. Despite this limitation, the perioeci were respected for their contributions to the economic well-being of Sparta. In terms of numbers, the perioeci were estimated to be significantly more numerous than the Spartiates, with some historical accounts suggesting that they may have outnumbered the elite ruling class by a considerable margin. This demographic imbalance highlights the importance of the perioeci in sustaining the economic stability of Sparta. The perioeci lived in settlements surrounding the main city of Sparta, known as perioikoi, which served as centers of trade and commerce. These settlements were strategically located to facilitate trade routes and economic exchanges with neighboring city-states. The perioeci enjoyed certain freedoms and privileges compared to the helots, such as the ability to own property and engage in business transactions. However, they were still subject to the authority of the Spartan state, and had to adhere to certain regulations and restrictions imposed by the ruling class. Despite their non-citizen status, the perioeci played a vital role in supporting the military endeavors of Sparta. They provided essential goods and services to the Spartan army, such as weapons, armor, and provisions, contributing to the overall strength and readiness of the military forces. The perioeci's economic contributions were instrumental in maintaining Sparta's military dominance in the region. Overall, the perioeci were a dynamic and diverse group within Spartan society, embodying the spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation. Their role as free non-citizens added a layer of complexity to the social structure of Sparta, highlighting the interconnectedness of different classes and the interdependence of economic and military functions within the city-state. The helots were an enslaved population in Sparta, forming the foundation of the Spartan economy and society. Unlike the free perioeci and elite Spartiates, the helots were considered state-owned serfs who worked the land and provided agricultural labor for their Spartan overlords. The exact origins of the helots are shrouded in mystery, with some historians suggesting that they were conquered Messenians who were enslaved after the First Messenian War in the 8th century BC. The helots outnumbered the free inhabitants of Sparta by a significant margin, with estimates suggesting that they could have been as much as 7 times the number of Spartiates. This demographic disparity underscores the sheer scale of the helot population and their importance to the functioning of Spartan society. The helots lived in rural areas surrounding Sparta, known as helot villages, where they toiled the land and produced food for the city-state. They were subjected to harsh treatment and exploitation by their Spartan masters, who viewed them as inferior and expendable. The helots had no political rights or freedoms and were at the mercy of the Spartan state, which could impose brutal punishments and restrictions on them at any time. Despite their enslaved status, the helots played a vital role in supporting the agricultural economy of Sparta, producing essential crops such as barley, wheat, and olives. They also served as laborers in various industries, such as mining, construction, and domestic service. The helots were required to give a portion of their harvest to their Spartan overlords as tribute, known as the kleros, which further reinforced their subordinate status. The relationship between the Spartans and the helots was characterized by tension and conflict, as the helots resented their oppressive treatment and sought opportunities to rebel against their masters. One of the most infamous revolts in Spartan history was the Helot Revolt of 465 to 460 BC, led by Helot leader Pausanias, which posed a significant threat to Spartan dominance. The Spartans brutally suppressed the revolt, resulting in the deaths of thousands of helots and the reinforcement of Spartan control over the enslaved population. Despite their marginalized status, the helots occasionally found ways to resist their oppression and assert their agency. Some helots managed to escape to neighboring city-states or rebelled against their Spartan masters, challenging the established social order. The helots' struggle for freedom and dignity serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities and contradictions inherent in Spartan society. Their resilience and resistance against overwhelming odds highlight the enduring legacy of the helots as a symbol of defiance and perseverance in the face of adversity. Spartiates, as the elite ruling class of Sparta, enjoyed certain rights and privileges that set them apart from the rest of society. One interesting aspect of Spartan society was the concept of communal dining, where Spartiates ate together in public mess halls known as syssitia. These communal meals served not only as a way to foster camaraderie among Spartiates, but also as a means of reinforcing social cohesion and discipline. Spartiates were also entitled to inherit land and property, ensuring the preservation of their wealth and status within Spartan society. In terms of military service, Spartiates were obligated to serve in the Spartan army from a young age, undergoing rigorous training and discipline to prepare them for battle. The number of Spartiates in Sparta was relatively small, with estimates suggesting there were only about 8,000 of them at any given time. This exclusivity and focus on military excellence allowed the Spartiates to maintain a tight grip on power and governance in Sparta. Despite their privileged status, Spartiates also had certain responsibilities to the state. They were expected to uphold the values of courage, loyalty, and obedience to authority, as outlined in the Spartan Mirage. Failure to adhere to these values could result in social ostracism and loss of status within Spartan society. Spartiates were also responsible for governing Sparta and making important decisions that affected the city-state as a whole. Their leadership and military prowess were essential to the defense and prosperity of Sparta, shaping the course of its history and legacy. The perioeci played a crucial role in the economic life of Sparta, contributing to the prosperity of the city-state through their skills and expertise. Unlike the Spartiates, the perioeci were free, non-citizens who engaged in trade, craftsmanship, and other economic activities. They formed a middle class in Spartan society, bridging the gap between the elite ruling class and the enslaved helots. The perioeci were estimated to be significantly more numerous than the Spartiates, with some historical accounts suggesting they may have outnumbered the elite class by a considerable margin. This demographic imbalance highlights the importance of the perioeci in sustaining the economic stability of Sparta. The perioeci lived in settlements surrounding Sparta, known as perioikoi, which served as centers of trade and commerce. These settlements were strategically located to facilitate trade routes and economic exchanges with neighboring city-states. The perioeci were essential to the functioning of the Spartan economy, providing goods and services that supported the military endeavors of Sparta. They produced a wide range of products, including pottery, textiles, and metalwork, which were traded both within Sparta and with other regions. The perioeci's economic contributions were instrumental in maintaining Sparta's economic prosperity and military dominance in the region. Despite their non-citizen status, the perioeci enjoyed certain freedoms and privileges compared to the helots, such as the ability to own property and engage in business transactions. They were respected for their skills and expertise, which were essential to the economic well-being of Sparta. The perioeci's role as free non-citizens added a layer of complexity to Spartan society, highlighting the interconnectedness of different social classes and the interdependence of economic and military functions within the city-state. The treatment of helots in Sparta was characterized by harsh conditions and oppression, reflecting the stark social hierarchy of Spartan society. Helots were state-owned serfs who worked the land and provided agricultural labor for their Spartan overlords. They were subjected to brutal treatment and exploitation, with little to no rights or freedoms. One of the most striking aspects of the helots' existence was their vulnerability to abuse and mistreatment by the Spartans. Helots lived in constant fear of retribution and punishment from their masters, who viewed them as inferior and expendable. The helots' labor was essential to the functioning of the Spartan economy, as they produced crops such as barley, wheat, and olives that sustained the city-state. Despite their significant numbers, helots had no political power or representation in Spartan society, remaining marginalized and oppressed. The exact number of helots in Sparta is a subject of historical debate, with estimates suggesting they could have outnumbered the free inhabitants by a considerable margin. This demographic disparity underscores the sheer scale of the helot population and their critical role in supporting the Spartan way of life. The treatment of helots in Sparta was marked by a constant struggle for survival and dignity, as they faced exploitation and abuse at the hands of their Spartan masters. Despite their enslaved status, helots occasionally found ways to resist their oppression and assert their agency, challenging the established social order. The resilience and resistance of the helots serve as a poignant reminder of the complexities and contradictions inherent in Spartan society, highlighting the enduring legacy of their struggle for freedom and justice. The social structure of Sparta had a profound impact on its military organization and effectiveness. The Spartiates, as the elite ruling class, were the backbone of the Spartan army, known for their unwavering courage and discipline in battle. Despite their small numbers, the Spartiates' military prowess was legendary, with historical accounts praising their skill and tenacity on the battlefield. The rigorous training and strict discipline imposed on Spartiates from a young age contributed to their success as warriors, shaping them into formidable soldiers who were ready to defend Sparta at all costs. Interestingly, the number of Spartiates in Sparta was relatively small, with estimates suggesting there were only about 8,000 of them at any given time. This exclusivity and focus on military excellence allowed the Spartiates to maintain a tight grip on power and governance in Sparta. In contrast, the helots, the enslaved population of Sparta, also played a significant role in supporting the Spartan military machine. The helots provided essential labor for agricultural production, freeing up Spartiates to focus on military training and combat. The sheer number of helots in Sparta, estimated to be significantly larger than the free population, ensured a steady supply of labor for the Spartan economy and military. This reliance on helot labor allowed Spartiates to dedicate themselves fully to military pursuits, enhancing the overall strength and readiness of the Spartan army. The social hierarchy of Spartan society, with Spartiates at the top and helots at the bottom, created a system where military excellence was prioritized above all else. This emphasis on military training and discipline, coupled with the support of the helot population, contributed to Sparta's reputation as a formidable military power in ancient Greece. Sparta's social structure differed significantly from other ancient Greek city-states, such as Athens. While Athens valued democracy and intellectual pursuits, Sparta prioritized military excellence and discipline. In terms of population, Athens was much larger than Sparta, with estimates suggesting that Athens had around 250,000 free inhabitants compared to Sparta's 8,000 Spartiates. Additionally, Athens relied on a system of paid, professional soldiers known as hoplites, while Sparta's military was composed primarily of citizen soldiers. Another notable difference was the treatment of women. In Athens, women had limited rights and were expected to manage the household, while in Sparta, women enjoyed more freedom and were encouraged to participate in physical activities. Despite these differences, both city-states shared a common heritage and language, contributing to the rich tapestry of ancient Greek civilization. One interesting aspect of Spartan society was the emphasis on physical fitness and athleticism. Spartiates underwent intense military training from a young age, participating in grueling exercises and competitions to hone their skills. Another fascinating detail is the role of the ephors, 5 elected officials who oversaw the day-to-day governance of Sparta and had the power to hold the kings accountable. In terms of numbers, the helots, the enslaved population of Sparta, were estimated to outnumber the free inhabitants by a significant margin, highlighting the scale of the helot population. Additionally, the Spartan military was known for its discipline and cohesion, with soldiers trained to fight as a cohesive unit rather than as individuals. These unique aspects of Spartan society set it apart from other ancient Greek city-states and contributed to its reputation as a formidable military power in the region.